Hi everybody. So I'm going to consider this the new first post for TBI and I. That's all of us, not just me. When it started, it was me. It was just me. Sorry, I'm going to be twitching a lot. This is a big one for me. And it started with honesty. It was me crying out for help for one last time, hoping for somebody to hear. And you know what? People did hear, and now a lot of people are hearing. And a lot of people's lives are changing, and so is mine. So I'm going to start this with, this is what this video is. This one's not about us. This one is about me. To help you guys understand why it is I make the videos that I do, how it is that I make the videos that I do, what drives me to make the videos, the paintings, the anythings that I do, the relationships I have with any of you, all of it. What it comes down to is me, who I am, pre-TBI, post-TBI. It started today. First, today. You would think it starts at birth. No, actually it started today. First time after a really long time, doesn't matter why or with who, I had a major blow up at Costco. I made a huge scene. Little tiny thing. I mean, I did everything I could before we went out to make sure that I did not have a bad day. Didn't matter. Flood happened. Once the flood happened, I made a scene. I made a big scene. And that's what happens when I fled. Now, my story. Me. Why, who is Josh Puckett? Why does Joshua Puckett do the things he does? Why did he do the bad things he did? Why did he do the good things? Well, of course, the beginning of my story, I've put it out there before. It started with pain. There was domestic things happening at home. Domestic things. I don't need to go any further than that, because that's not the whole part of it. Part of it was, who was I inside? Well, part of me now, part of what's always been of me, is I analyze things very deeply. I always have. And even though my memory is now affected by this brain injury, I do in fact, I do in fact remember things from my past still in great, great detail. And I connect to them on emotional levels like they still happen. And now with a brain injury, that floodgate is open. So the pain of my past, for me, it's everything. It's where I draw inspiration. It's where I draw my pain, my sorrow, my sometimes manic craziness. It's where I draw my love. It's where I draw everything. It's what I started with. And even as a child, I thought of the world in this way. And I broke it down the way that I do. The way I make these videos. I was doing that when I was a kid. I just had it all up here. Then there's the middle part. The middle part, you grow out of being a kid and you start becoming an adult. Well, in my younger teenage years, I learned, I had it my whole life, but we finally had to name it. It turned out to be Tourette's syndrome. And it wreaked some serious havoc come my teenage years, as did hormones, as did the mental illness that had been planted years before. It grew, and it expanded, and I went crazy. I was the teen from hell. I really was. But again, even in my actions, the real me was still in the background. And this is all before brain injury. This is just who I am. The real me was still in the background just taking notes, watching every last thing and trying to learn from it. So that one day if I needed it, I could use it. In retrospect and with wisdom. And then I finally slowed down from that. And I settled down, got married, had kids and everything. Everything was going a lot better. The problem was those demons, those voices, those everythings, the good ones and the bad ones. I mean, the manic stuff that makes me paint, it's a beautiful thing. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, but it's that same type of crazy manicness that can drive me into the darkest places. The mind that can make this, and if you connect to this in any way, shape, or form, the mind that can make this can also put me in a place that is the yin to the yang of that. And so I still lived in that, except I had the capacity to control it and not go overboard with my eccentricities, as I will just call them. Things started to change. Life happened. I had children. I didn't just have children, I had 2 very autistic children. People died. These are things that happen as you grow older. It's just life happening. Problems happened in my marriage. And then I fell into something that I was able to fight for so long and then finally gave into, which was my family's wonderful disposition for alcoholism. I finally gave into it. And I dragged a lot of damn people down with me. And I burned a lot of people with me. And it destroyed everything, virtually. It also possibly, and let's be honest, probably led to me being in the position where a man almost beat the life out of me. And despite all the things that have happened to me, both emotionally and physically, a lot of people don't know this. I've actually been hit by a car twice before ever getting beaten by a man. Interesting fact about me people don't know. I survived all these things. Now, after my brain injury, I got home. I wasn't drinking because, you don't drink in the hospital, so you have it out of your system. And honestly, when you first get home, you're just too damn exhausted to even be an alcoholic. But eventually, I went back in. Then I stopped. I have no idea why I finally did, but I did. And then I started this journey back to being introspective, back to being that child, the person that truly who I am. But that person still has the demons to deal with that led to the alcoholism, that led to getting hurt in the first place. Now I also have it with this flooding chaos that is happening nonstop in my head. And so I had to deal with becoming sober and with this chaos. And then the other thing, that based on the posts that I've been doing about dealing with the misunderstanding with people, I was completely by myself. I believe that for whatever reason, my way of thinking inside of my brain causes me to think of every avenue of myself. I don't know why. I just am this way. Sometimes I was ashamed of it. But it gives me a perspective that a lot of people don't have on themselves. And so now I'm just trying to share it. And that brings me to that part of what started today, but how today ended. And not how today ended just from that point to now 24 hours. No. Ended where my life stands right now. So after having my blow up, I went out to the parking lot. And I was melting down. And I felt alone. And I felt like all the progress, all this beautiful stuff from TBI and I, this group, this family. I was like, what is it? What does it mean? What is it for if I'm still going to be feeling like this? Even myself. And then I started calling on to you guys. Just asking, could anybody latch on? And then you know what people did. And then you know what? I started to feel better. I started not just to feel better. I started to finally see the light. All that stuff I said about people, they need to understand this. They do. But not everybody's going to. It's okay. They don't need to. We need to understand ourselves. And as long as we accept ourselves, all the beautiful, wrong, gross, disgusting, ugly, shameful, funny, all the parts, everything, just accept it. That's who you are. So long as you know that you don't want to hurt people and that you feel bad when you do, you're a good person. So all the parts that are clicking wrong, you can't help it. It's not your fault. I was so angry at the people for not understanding me and not understanding that I couldn't control my flood. And I walked out and I was ready to rip the world in half. But you guys helped me. Just like we're all helping each other. All of a sudden, we have this place. That is not just a group on Facebook. It's a place where people finally have a family and finally have people that understand each other. So remember that about this place and fully embrace it, please. Because I did today. And it literally saved my life, my whole life, from beginning to end, from abuse to pain, depression, TBI, everything. It led me to this. You guys led me to this, not me. I did my part. My part was just talking. We all did this together, and we need to realize now we are not alone. If you are ready, stand up with me, because I know now I'm not alone. It doesn't matter if my family doesn't understand me. It doesn't matter if the world around me doesn't understand me. As long as I do, and at the times that I don't, the times that I feel lost, because it will happen. This is broken. It's going to happen. I know that I can count on this room, on this place, this little spot that we're hoping to maybe blow up so that everybody can have this hope. That whenever you're feeling that, you can call on any of us. Me, I am open for any of you, anytime. Doesn't mean I can get to you immediately, but I will always get to you if you need me for anything, because you are my family. Every single one of you that joins next, you're my family now too. I believe it fully and with my heart and my soul and everything in me. We are not broken. Okay? We're not broken. We're just different, and it's going to take a while to learn how to be the new us. And we're going to stumble because it takes a while to learn. Why do you think you go to school for 13 years? It takes a while, but we're going to get there. And we're learning. We're not broken. We're just new. I love every last one of you, old, present, and new.